What up, everybody? It's your man Danelle, aka Small Guy Promotions, aka the Omaha Fatty, coming with another podcast episode of What's Up, Omaha? Yo, first off, let me thank everyone who ever tunes into one of the podcasts, whether it be, on YouTube, where you can see all my prettiness, or if you're listening to the audio side of things on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Radio Public, wherever you're listening, Verbal, that's one of the new platforms that I've mentioned. Wherever you're tuning in, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Sometimes people ask how they can support the podcast and what I'm doing. It's super simple. All that it takes is you sharing the podcast, or if you're seeing it on social media, Twitter, retweeting, Facebook, share, whatever, comment, like, subscribe, and share. That's what we always say at the end of the video. Those are the things that you can do. Just engage with me wherever you see me popping up if you want to help Small Guy Promotions and Omaha Fatty grow. It's that simple. I don't need money from you, nothing like that. Just your time and your willingness to hit a couple of buttons. That's all I ask. So thank you to anyone that supports and wants to help me grow and spread the word. I'm trying to quit my job, y'all. Help me out. So as you can see, I have on a lovely t-shirt, Lemonator 2021, got the Kool-Aid Days going on. My daughters and I went out to Hastings Friday night, and it's a real short trip because we didn't really have time. We had a dinner planned at 6 on Saturday, so we had to make it a quick trip. Normally we would stay the whole weekend for Kool-Aid Days. If you've never been, Kool-Aid Days is in Hastings, Nebraska, the home of Kool-Aid. For those that don't know, Kool-Aid originates from Hastings, Nebraska. Every year they have an event, Kool-Aid Days. It's like a 3 or 4 day event. They've got the kickoff ceremony, they got parades and just different events, car shows, and there was a Frisbee golf tournament, this one, I believe. Just a lot of different things. They have things going on at the museum. One of our favorite things is on Sundays, the last day of the event, they have an egg drop. Like, you make this, the whole goal is to drop the egg off the rooftop of the museum, and you don't want the egg to crack. So they have all these supplies like cardboard and bubble wrap and duct tape and egg cartons and all this other stuff that you can use to enclose your egg. So it's got its own little enclosure, and then you have to create something to try to slow down the descent from the top of the roof. And the whole goal is to not have the egg crack. They're all eggs, so if they do crack, a lot of times they'll go splat. Or sometimes they won't because they're so enclosed, but you can still see that the egg cracked. But it's just a fun time. The whole event is a fun time, and next year we'll have to make sure that we can get out there for the whole event. That's what we usually like to do when we go. My wife is from Hastings, so we're used to being out there in that area. But, they have the world's largest Kool-Aid stand. So it's 16 different flavors of Kool-Aid. And for the people who need sugar-free, they've got some sugar-free options out there, but 16 different flavors of Kool-Aid. Then they have different events going on, like, martial arts studios coming out. They have beauty contests. Kool-Aid Man comes out. There's so many different things at this event. Events like that I know aren't easy to do. So shout out to all the organizers and coordinators of Kool-Aid Days 2021. I wish we could have stayed longer, but we had other responsibilities to do so. But look, I got the lovely shirt. We got cups, my girls and I. Maybe we should have got one for my wife too. We didn't because she wasn't there, but we have a lot of Kool-Aid cups from previous years anyway. But these cups are a legit deal. I mean, you just pay $2 for a cup, and this gets you all the Kool-Aid that you want the whole weekend. You just go and take your cup up, they fill it up, and you're good to go. So for us getting there to Hastings Friday night, we didn't do anything Friday night. We didn't go to any of the kickoff ceremonies, but we were there on Saturday. We got up and went to the parade, which was cool. We got to see the Kool-Aid Man and all these other, people walking down the street. We had some bands like the St. Cecilia High School, where my wife and her siblings went to. Hastings College, they had their band. You had the military people out there, like I think it was the Army out there in their get-ups and trying to recruit. You had firefighters and rescue squads, horses. You had the people in the old classic cars with the beauty contestant up waving, hi, hi. There's so much stuff going on at parades. You guys know how parades go. There's always different parades for different things, and the lineup is kind of similar sometimes. So there was the Runza T-Rex. I don't know the T-Rex's name. I should probably know that, but he was there. He or she was there. I don't know if it's a male or a female. The T-Rex was there. It was sponsored in part by Runza, I believe. Just a good time. We got to go and meet years ago, when my wife and I used to work at this shoe store. I was the manager, and I don't even like calling him my assistant because he's very senior to me. He's like about to be 80 this year. But Wendell Boomin is his name. He used to live out here in Omaha, and his daughter and her husband and family were out in Hastings. So as they started getting older, they moved out there to be closer to their family. But Wendell was in Omaha for years, worked for the shoe store for like 42 years, 45 years. I don't know, something crazy. But we had talked, and we hadn't seen each other in a few years, and COVID was going on too. So he hasn't been around or out and about a lot. They're dealing with a few health issues and whatnot. But we talked earlier this year, and he said, "Hey, if you come out for Kool-Aid Days, give us a call. It'd be great to see you." And again, the trip was last minute. I didn't even know until like a week before that we were going to go, because we didn't have time, and my wife was working, so we didn't plan on going. But both of my daughters wanted to go, so I said, "You know what? It'll be a great opportunity to go out there, see my mother-in-law, give her some company for a little bit, and then we can go and have our little fun while we're out there, see Wendell and his wife, and just call it a day." And that's what we did. I called him Saturday morning, and I was like, "Hey man, we're coming out." And he's like, "We're actually going to be at the parade. We weren't going to go, but my grandson is in the band. This is his senior year through Hastings College. He's in the band, and they'll be marching during the parade." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So we set it up, made sure to know where he was going to be sitting at. So we walked through, and we found them, and we hung out with them during the parade. It was a pretty cool time. We got to catch up a little bit, and for him being a guy who's 80 years old and is from Omaha, they're not in a retirement facility. Him and his wife live together at their home. So I don't know how much they get out and about and see friends. So it was probably a really good time for him. He's always happy to reminisce about our old days and talk about, we used to go to baseball games, like one baseball game a year, at least, Storm Chasers. And yeah, man, we just caught up a little bit. The conversation is kind of the same sometimes, just because we have those staples of things that we used to bond over. So we talk about those things often. He asked me about my work and if I'm still there and whatnot, and how many years he's been retired, and that and this, that, and the other. But yeah, so that was cool. After the parade, we were right across the street from the bakery. If you've paid attention to the post that I make on Facebook, you may have seen some months back when my father-in-law passed away. One of my wife's cousins brought this mac and cheese from the back alley bakery in Hastings. Oh, this mac and cheese was like the best mac and cheese I had ever had. So we were right across from this bakery during the parade. So after the parade, we didn't go and get mac and cheese because there was we I don't know, we weren't going to eat it. We didn't have time to eat mac and cheese, and they specially make this one. It's not their regular mac and cheese, but we went over there and got some cinnamon rolls and some coffee cakes. Um, I haven't eaten a cinnamon roll yet. I did eat half of, or probably three-quarters of a coffee cake. I gave a piece to my mother-in-law. She's like, I don't really need this, but if you give her a little sweets, she'll take it. But it was a good time, man. So that kicked off our morning. After we went to the bakery, we went back to my mother-in-law's house and we had lunch. She made BLTs. And I don't know, I've never heard of this before, but she let us try these cinnamon pickles. It's like this long process, like over 3 days. You have to let the stuff sit, like the syrup or whatever, sit for 24 hours. She was telling me about it, but it's crazy. It's a long, super long process. But it's cucumbers, pickles, and you make them in the syrup and they're red. It's kind of like, it reminds you of apple cinnamon, like the apples that would be in like an apple pie or something like that. They don't have the skin on them or anything. It's just the fruit itself. It's a different. I had never heard of this, but it's really different. Like you get the cinnamon taste, and you're like, ooh, I can dig that. But you also get the like vinegar taste. So it's just kind of a weird combination that you might probably like it after you have it a few times. I don't know if we'll try it more. We brought a jar back. She jarred some or canned some for the kids. So we brought one back for my wife. I don't know if we'll eat any more, my girls and I. I know my youngest didn't like it. My oldest was like, it's okay. It's weird. Me and my oldest were kind of on the same page about it. Like, it's not bad. It's just weird. It's odd. You got to get used to it. So we did that though, had lunch, and then my oldest is in love with cars, like classic cars. So whenever we see car shows, we try to go out and visit. So we went out to the Lockland Clubhouse out there in Hastings where they had all these wonderful cars. Yeah, it was just a really chill, good time. It was cool out during the morning. While we were at the car show, it did start to heat up a little bit. So we were like, it's probably time to call it quits here at the car show and go and get some Kool-Aid. So we left the car show. We took some photos, a lot of good vehicles there, race cars. They got the little nitrous button that you push. You lift up the little red thing, like the movies. You flip the thing up and push the boost, and so they have a racetrack out there. So some of those cars were race cars that go out there, and then some were just regular classic ones. But yeah, it was a good time. We left there. We went to the fairgrounds out there, and we didn't stay too long. I think we probably got about an hour and a half or so, maybe just a little bit more out there. But yeah, man, we got our cups. I got the shirt. We had a few cups of Kool-Aid, tropical snow out there. You guys know that we love tropical snow. Fortunately for us in Papillion, summer snow had recently opened up this summer, so we were able to get our fix of tropical snow. But our love for it originated out in Hastings at the tropical snow out there. We saw the trailer, so even though we were drinking a bunch of Kool-Aid, we had to go and support tropical snow because that's what it's all about. We love to go back there. Whenever we go back there in the summertime and we see them out there, we try to go and get some tropical snow. Whether we're on our way out of town or we're just there hanging on a day, we try to get some tropical snow if we can. We had been missing them, so it was great to catch up to them and speak with the owners for a quick minute while we were out there and just let them know that, hey, we still support you guys. So we did that, and then my daughter, Dad, can I get funnel cake? So take her to the little, they had a few different food vendors. So we got a funnel cake. And then as we're in line though, she's like, can I get a caramel apple instead of a funnel cake? I'm like, bro, like you're killing me. Cause now, so nobody wanted anything to eat. She wanted a funnel cake. And so the deal was that she was going to share it with the oldest. And then we're in the line, she just switches it up. And like, now I got to buy two things because my oldest now is like, her mind is set for wanting funnel cake. So I can't say no. And then now she wants a caramel apple. I could have said no, but I was like, whatever, it's fine. Get your dang caramel apple. Stop bugging me, kid. Stop asking for everything. But we got that. We had to leave shortly after we got that, but it was cool. We didn't do too much while we were there. They usually have games and stuff on the insides, raffles and things, and they may have, but we just didn't have the time to enjoy all of that stuff. They did have some like slides and the blow up things for the kids to play on. They had a little train that they could ride on and go around. The only activity that we saw or performance that we saw was a Taekwondo dojo, TKD dojo, doing their little thing, breaking boards. I don't know. I don't know much about Taekwondo. I know a couple people who used to do it, but I don't really know how it goes. I feel like it's kind of like a false sense of security. They got these kids breaking boards and stuff. I don't know if they tell them that the boards are thin or what. Like, I don't know how it all works. I don't know if it's just a confidence boost or what. You know, you see the videos of people doing all these flips and stuff and kicking stuff in the air, which is really impressive. But I'm just not sure on the younger scale how effective these kicks and punches are, where they're breaking these boards. I just don't want to see somebody thinking that they tough stuff and then, you know, go, well, number one, if you're in martial arts, you should not be a bully. I mean, martial arts is typically going against being a bully, but you still have those type of people. But I don't want somebody, or maybe not even a bully, I don't want someone overconfident in themselves and their skills, and don't want them to get themselves in a position where they might have to try to defend themselves and get knocked out. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't know a lot about TKD. I've got a couple of people who I know who used to do it, and you know, don't speak too highly of it. But that's all I'm gonna say because I don't know enough about it. You know, but that's what we got to see while we were there. Yeah, I don't know what we missed. Oh, we had just missed the Kool-Aid drinking contest. That's one of the things that they do as well. Some years back, my daughters and I did it. They had like different brackets, and for the kids, I think my daughter did like a 10 or 12 ounce drink when we did it, and for the adults, it was like 32 ounces. For the young ones, I don't know, maybe it was like 8 ounces or something. But whoever drinks it the fastest, you know, it's a competition. They have rounds, so if you make it through the preliminary round, you get to go to the next round. But when I did it, bro, people are, man, the way that these people drink, I don't know how they do it. Like, I thought I was drinking my Kool-Aid at a pretty decent clip, but I got next to these guys and they were like 5 seconds, 32 ounces. I'm like, I can't do that, bro. I don't know how you did that, bro. I can't do that though. But yeah, we had just missed one of the rounds. But whatever, it was still a good time. Again, we got these cups, got a t-shirt to I'm having trouble speaking. Commemorate the event, you know. So shout out to Kool-Aid Days 2021. Oh yeah. Yeah, man. That was our time out there. We rushed back home, got home to Omaha in just enough time to go out to eat all good food. We were supposed to be having an event out there, you know, as a part of a group that I started some years back, the Omaha Area Foodies. If you're on Facebook, look it up. But we used to go out to eat to support local restaurants from time to time. But with COVID and everything going on, we hadn't gone out in over a year. So I thought, hey, man, things were dying back down. So maybe we could start getting those going again. So yeah, we rushed back to get there just in time. And then nobody showed up. It was only us. And I was like, well, I don't know if it's because we hadn't done it in a while, but like one of our core families couldn't make it, and I just didn't hear from some of the other core people who typically show up. I was telling Clark that we usually have at least like 15 people at the events, but we hadn't, again, we hadn't done it in a while, and I probably could have did a better job of getting it out there. And then maybe some people still don't want to go and hang out. I don't know. Maybe it was the day. I don't know what it was, but that's how we filled out our evening when we came back. I'm like, man, we could have just stayed in Hastings for longer, enjoyed more Kool-Aid. Like, but it is what it is, man. You try and you do what you can do, and that's all you do. The rest is up to, I don't know, the universe, I guess. I don't know. All you can do is go out and try, and that's what we did. So we still ate well. We still had a good night, had a good time. So it was all good. Shout out to All Good Food. That's all I got today, man. I hope you guys can experience Kool-Aid Days at some point. Again, it's every year, usually mid-August is when they have the event going on. So, we've been back a few times, and it's just real fun. And there's not a lot of cost involved. I mean, with the exception of the T-shirt and the cups, which again, the cups were only $2. T-shirt was $20. I spent $14 on the apple and the funnel cake, and then $7 on our 2 tropical snows. So I didn't spend much at all there. The parade, of course, you don't spend money at a parade typically. And I spent however much on the baked goods, which, that wasn't even a part of it. The car show was free. There's no admission for that. The stuff that they had going on at the museum and wherever else, I think there was $5 to get into the museum. That's what it costs, but you could still go there and do other stuff and drink Kool-Aid for free. So it's very affordable if you have a family and you're worried about spending a lot of money. You don't have to when you're going to Kool-Aid Days. So get out there sometimes if you can, or sometime if you can, if you enjoy Kool-Aid and you enjoy the history of Nebraska. You can go out there and learn about that at the museum or whatever else you want to do. Thank you guys for tuning in once again. Again, like I said before, you can help us grow just by sharing, and subscribing. That's all I ask. Thank you for your time. Smile, help someone else smile, laugh, and help someone else laugh all day, every day. I'm shuffling. Yeah.